Okay, that's that, that. Okay, so I just want to share my screen there and we'll be underway. If anyone else comes, they can join in. Right, just going to make you guys a little bigger so I can see you. Can you see the presentation? Tell me when you can see it.
We can.
You can. Cool. That works. Okay. All right. So welcome to Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. This is a free webinar. Ooh, that's an old date. That should be change that. 7th of November. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and I think Katie and Judy know me. Nice to meet you, Josh. And the purpose of this is to share how I created a global teaching business with Centre for Conscious Ascension. I'll give you a little taste of it. Okay, that's why I'm here, because a lot of the practitioners we have kept asking Almira, who formed the centre with me, and now run separate, similar business, how did we create a global business using fifth-dimensional technologies and ideas? This is quite different to running a normal 3D corporate business. And my mission is to help you manifest your mission as a therapist or whatever you're doing out in the world spiritually. And so I'm going to give you a little taste of how we market and manifest this business. So I used to be in the corporate world. I used to be in space communications, satellite communications at the high end in London, a massive global multi-billion-dollar communication business. On the commercial side, working out how to sell things on our satellites, to pay for very expensive space systems. So I've sort of had, we even had our own mission control and things like that. So I've sort of been in high end, technically and commercially, in that sort of arena. Then I left that to do this because this was more interesting to me in the end. So it was a very interesting job for about 7 years, and I thought I need to do something else to make a difference down here. That's why I'm here. So, but I want to know why you guys are here, because that is going to determine how we run this today. So if you want to say name, where you're from, I know two of you already, just so you get to know each other, and what brought you here, and a little bit about your work background. So, if you've been, sometimes we get vice presidents of big New York banks turn up, women trying to escape. So I had two of them in the same week. It was really interesting. So I need to know your backgrounds a bit, because that enables me to pitch this in the right way for you guys. Okay, so who wants to start? Josh, you switched here.
Sure. Yes. So, hi everyone. Josh Streets, based out of Iowa, United States, by way of Chicago. Came here because I've read the book. I've taken the soul contract and gotten the downloads of the PDF. I've been through the process and really understood it pretty well from what I can gather. So it's very new to me. As far as my background, 25 years in contact centers. So global call centers, basically, is where I kind of grew up. Big corporate companies and now entrepreneurial endeavors, but still in the classical, consulting 9 to 5. And the message that came out as far as this 2-hour opportunity kind of spoke to me. Been thinking of, I'm helping businesses perform better, and I'm trying to think, could I be shifting gears to getting back to helping people perform better by understanding more, becoming more self-aware and beyond. So the book seemed to find me. I didn't find it. And it's one of those things where I've been reading a lot of Hawkins and a lot of other literature over the last 20 years just to help myself. And now I think there's an opportunity for me and then my wife, who is recently retired, move into more of a humanity-based conscious ascension, helping others understand what we've come to understand over the years. So I'm on for both of us essentially over the next 2 hours to kind of learn and hear what others are here for, and just kind of dip my toe in the water, the proverbial water, so to speak, learn more.
Okay, well, we hope the water's nice and warm. So, all right, who's next? Judy?
Hi, my name is Judy. I am from New York on Long Island. I am here because I need help just navigating my way into the workplace again. So I have been married for 34 years and I'm getting divorced. And so, the financial weight is going to be on me. So this feels like something that I need to, well, I really wish I thought about this before, because I'm just trying to think about
Whatever comes to you.
Yeah. So I kind of feel slightly stressed, to be honest. Like, I got to get my business going, and I really don't like doing anything out of that state. I'm a mother. I was a housewife, and that was what my life was about, and I loved it. I'm also an artist, and I was an art teacher for 15, 20 years because I was actually too insecure to sell my work. But I feel different now. What I want to do is, I am an energy worker. I am a healer. I'm a channel, an intuitive. I'm a medium, and I want to even infuse my energy work into art and sell art as like a side, like a side thing. I hear with a lot of people who are in the full-time healing thing, that there could be lulls sometimes. Like you have the high points, the dips, and in the dips, I could just have like the art thing. So that's where I am. That's where I'd say I am.
Okay. So what do you need from this today?
I guess a direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Thank you.
Eddie, haven't seen you for ages.
It's been so long.
Long time since last night.
I'm a psychologist. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I guess I am here. I actually run a private practice, and I've been in practice now for going on 2 years. But as you guys know, as business owners, it can take a little bit of time to get your name out there and become known in the community. And that's going pretty well, all in all. However, I've recently found my way, pretty recently, to more of a spiritual lifestyle, more spiritual practice. And I watched your videos on Gaia, Nicolas, and I bought your book, and I'm working through it. I did my soul contract reading analysis, and what's come out of all of this self-exploration, also this as well, and I can't believe how much it came out on this, that my mission or my purpose is most definitely to bring healing and teaching to others. I practice a particular modality that aligns, it's not a spiritual model, but it aligns very much with the spiritual model. It's called internal family systems. We talked about it yesterday a little bit, so I won't go into too much depth, but essentially, because it's recently come to me that my purpose here is to bring this model and to facilitate healing for as many people who've experienced trauma in their life as as possible, then I want to manifest that so I can stay in alignment with what my purpose is. And I suppose that's why I'm here, is to stay focused on that path. Because daily stuff, I find in my own personal stuff, can sometimes get in the way of that mindset that's necessary for manifesting something in a way that is, really effective. It doesn't get blocked by the other stressors in life. So I'm here really for focus. I also want to learn as much as I can because I'm literally blown away. I did this last night as much as I could, digging into the material as much as I could. And it's so accurate that I'm a little in shock, actually. And my intuition, I told you yesterday when we met, was right. It did say that I have to redo my name or like revamp it or whatever. So
Optimize it. Yeah.
Optimize it. Yeah.
Optimize it.
Anyways, that's me. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks for the intro, guys. It gives me a good feel. And what do you need from this, Katie? What do you really need from this? We know who you are and journey, but what do you need from this taster today?
I would just say some almost like centering on this path, just to stay focused in the mindset of manifesting a business that's going to help people. And I mean, if it goes there, I would love a little bit of clearing around any blocks around insecurity or beliefs about my capacity to do that. That would be wonderful. But again, I don't know if that's what the plan is. So
yeah, we're more going to focus on the business side today, of finding out what that business is, because they already exist. In fact, all your new businesses exist. And the purpose of marketing manifesting your business is to connect you with what already you've planned in the high dimensions before you were even born. Okay, so this is not making it happen. This is about opening to allowing what has already been planned by you, the divine part of you, the higher self, to embody through you. So this is a completely different way of doing business. Okay. And you guys are in a North American culture. I spend a lot of time in North America. And the imprint is you got to make it happen, force it, use brute force a lot of the time, make it happen. This has nothing to do with that. Okay. This is about opening and letting spirit come through you with grace and much more grace and ease to bring through the plan which already exists. And aligning to that plan. It's a core principle of what we do. Because when you do that, it's a lot easier and it happens a lot better. It opens with grace and ease in comparison to trying to force it to happen. And you don't have to invent anything or work anything out. You've just got to listen and open. Okay, so that's a bit of a paradigm buster. This is how we actually run spiritual businesses. Okay. When I left the corporate world, sort of high pressure, high-end corporate world, I was very much trained in business plans, 5-10-year plans, work it all out, massive spreadsheets, 3-inch thick business plans. And I discovered that none of that worked. I came into this because it wasn't following the flow of spirit. So it's taken me decades to surrender. It's going to take you a lot less. So you on marketing, manifesting your business, I distill everything I learned the real hard way to actually turn the lovely ideas you have for what you want to do into actually viable spiritual businesses. So this work is about a complete change of mindset that we all get programmed with in the West. Of the left brain scientific way, Harvard Business School process is how you do business. It's nothing to do with any of that at all. It's about following the flow of energy. Because when you do, and if you're clear enough emotionally and you align with your contract, then it works. Not saying it's going to be easy, but the main thing is going to be a lot easier than applying the 3D mindset. So we're making this work is about making a transition from a 3D mindset to a 5D mindset, which is basically what that means is being in complete unity with yourself, aligning with the soul, being fully conscious of your soul contracts, which you're all very aware of them, and how to clear all the stuff in your contract to allow the higher consciousness of the higher self to come through with what we call your visionary template that already exists. So this is about discovering the business that already exists and opening to it, and then allowing it to flow through you and using high dimensional tools to manifest it. So what it is, it's a mixture of taking usually a right brain feminine gift of service you want to deliver to the world, and then getting brought up in the hard school of how the 3D business world works, and 3D world works full stop, and wrapping enough masculine business structure, conscious masculine structure in it to deliver that feminine gift to the world. That's what marketing and manifesting a business is about. So just enough of that to actually, so it actually works and it will pay the bills. Okay, because that's sort of, we can have all these wonderful ideas, a lot of people do, but actually none of it's grounded a lot of the time. None of it actually works. None of it pays the bills. This is the opposite. This is actually, how do you turn that into something that's viable, that still flow in the joy of a gift you want to deliver. Okay, so this is finding a balance between the masculine and the feminine. It was very, very much out of balance here, very much in the masculine, the way the world works with work. So that's the broad principle of what we do in marketing and manifesting business. Because we only have a couple of hours today, we're going to give you a little taste of that process. So I'll go to my presentation here. Okay, so to move into that fifth dimensional perspective, we need to become a spiritual entrepreneur. So what do you guys think that is? Actually, no, Raven's just joined us. Hang on. Welcome, Raven. Just want to you just say yes to being a panelist, because this is a full participatory, it's like a mini workshop. You say yes to the little box that's come up, and we can meet you, and then you can participate in the workshop. Yeah, for that. You able to just talk to me so I can just connect with you, Raven? It's basically it's like a mini workshop where we're actually doing practice sessions and stuff like that. Or do you just want to watch, or are you going to miss out on the process? Okay, we'll leave you where you are for now. Okay. All right. So, what do you think a spiritual entrepreneur is, guys? Just whatever comes to you. There's no right answer. I just want to see where you are with this. Any volunteers?
Aligned with spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get a little more grounded with that. Okay, let's start. Katie, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would say it's someone who has some kind of a business and it has a spiritual focus to it. That's Judy.
Okay. Josh, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think of enterprising individual that, either has a product or service, but then that spiritual component comes in and throws me off of that to think through. Maybe it's not even a product or service. It's just a service to humanity or others from a spiritual lens. So not necessarily your traditional entrepreneur model.
Okay, thank you. Raven, do you want to contribute to this? You switch your mic on. It's up to you. Or you can message us. No. Okay, I'll keep going then. All right. You can participate with as much or as little as you like, Raven, but you'll get the most out of it if you're able to join us. So basically, a spiritual entrepreneur is someone who's actualizing their soul journey through the expression of their soul purpose through their spiritual business. They are one and the same thing. It's like your business becomes your ongoing life workshop. Okay, so the business is actually a mirror for your internal spiritual journey, plus you make a living at doing it. So how do you become one? Okay, so we begin with the end in mind. It's Stephen Covey. 7 habits of success. Okay? And that end in mind is the delivery of your gift of service to the world. Okay? The one thing that your soul brought you here to do. You'll have one as light workers. 2, your dream client avatar. Okay? The person or the people that you love working with, and they love working with you. Because you all have a dream client avatar. Okay? Ideal client profile. So it's very important to get clear on what your gift of service is and who is going to receive it, who wants to engage with you in that dance, and obviously pay you for that as well. That's the first thing to work out being a spiritual entrepreneur. Okay? So what is this gift of service that I'm talking about? Well, it's what you're most passionate about and love to do. My current passion is teaching this workshop, Marketing, Manifesting, and Business. So I've been developing workshops for 30 years, and this is my latest one. So my gift of service is to help you deliver your gift of service to the world. And so the gift of service is to be found in your soul contract. It's found in your physical and spiritual karmic aspects, the stuff which is really challenging for you, that you're here to overcome and transmute into your gift of service. So the biggest challenge you face, once you overcome it, or as you gradually overcome it, becomes what you're going to deliver to the world. That's your training. So your karma is your training to deliver your gift of service to the world. The last place you might have thought, you would have thought you were going to find it. Okay? It's also in the soul destiny as well. Okay? My gift of service is to communication, teaching, writing books, and physical karma. And the spiritual part is about coming to my power to empower you to become sovereign beings out in the world delivering your gift of service. No longer slaves to the 3D corporate matrix, to break free. Okay? The soul destiny for me is the same as well. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to find out what that gift of service is. We're going to explore this to see how much of this you've actually worked out in an exercise. We're going to do pair work here to find out what that gift of service is. Okay, and then we'll do a feedback session to find out what you've discovered. Okay. Hang on. Okay. All right. So it'd be good to work in pairs if we could. So Raven, are you open to working in pairs here? This is because we're going to put people in a breakout room, which is separate. If you're not familiar with them, it's a separate digital space. Ideally, we'd be good to have 2 breakout rooms. Then you can work in pairs. We'll do 3 otherwise if you don't want to participate in this, Raven. Then you're going to basically share with your partner or in the threesome how much you worked out, what your gift of service is. Then your partner is going to write down what they hear, and they're going to feed it back to you, because often what's going on in our heads a lot of the time, because our soul's communicating with us, and then we actually don't actually hear ourselves. We don't realize how bright and brilliant we are. So this is a very powerful feedback mirroring process we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to do this for about, let me look at the timing I set here. We're going to do this for about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so Raven, do you want to participate in this, being in a pair with us? Or I can, if you want to come into the room with us and just observe, you need to become a panelist. Otherwise, I can't move you into the room. So if you can let me know, either switch the mic on and talk to me or message me. Otherwise, I need to leave you in the main room here. We're going to go into a different room to do this. No response. Okay. All right. I think what we'll do, so you can see what's going on, Raven, that we'll stay in this main room, seeing there's only 3 of you. Okay. And we'll do this actually, we'll do it 3 ways in this case. So I reckon, looking at my schema work on my other screen here, we will do, I think about 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. Get my timer out. Get my stopwatch on. 4 or 5 minutes each. We can say a lot in 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, just change the timer here. And there's no right answer here. I want you to, let's get the timer right here. I just want you guys to articulate as best you can what you feel that is. Okay, so I would say, who wants to go first? Which pair wants to go first? So we're going to go around in a triangle. Okay, so we've got Katie, Judy, we've got Josh. Okay, so who wants to talk about the gift of service first? How do you guys?
I can go.
Okay. Okay, so Josh.
So I had always defined my purpose when I've written it down as bringing out the best in businesses and people. And I took this
Let me just get a partner first. So Katie, okay, I want you to take notes and listen to what Josh says, because at the end I want you to mirror to him what he says, because he's going to get a whole bunch of realization from this. Okay. All right. So now, okay, now start now, Josh. Got about 5 minutes.
Got it. Thanks. Yeah. So I've always known my purpose to be, or through self-discovery, that I was bringing out the best in businesses or people. And I've worked a lot with leaders and individuals, and then I've had a pretty interesting life myself overall, to where I really enjoy, and my gift is helping people just improve overall. And I get fired up about just seeing results and making a difference in people's lives. That's my personal purpose, and that's how I've defined it. When I took this journey, basically my soul destiny reads as here to share the unconditional love of the Christ consciousness energies, to connect with and duplicate the energies of nature's abundance and share them with others. And that speaks to a more granular level of what I think I am to be doing, maybe for humanity and others, right? So the reach and touching more with this work and this type of learning and beyond is something that interests me. So personally, where I'm at right now is I'm in a niche, and I'm spending all my time in service of businesses, and it's draining me. I've tried to scale this business, but I can't find people that my clients want to work with outside of myself. So I'm basically trading my time for dollars, and thought, is there a way that I could get more joy or fulfillment if I were to scale and grow something that is a little more product focused, and then could possibly build a team around. It's always been something in the back of my mind as an entrepreneur. So when you put, I believe in the message, Nicolas, are you wanting to move outside of doing this kind of work for friends or just loved ones and maybe others? I see my role or goal of all of this as maybe somebody that can jump in and help, whether it's for a larger group or effort, whether it's getting the technology out there to take this to the next level, or building a team around it and finding ways to not just profit off of it, but to make it accessible for more and get a larger audience involved in it, whether it's US or another area. It's all in the back of my mind. And where I'm at right now is my gift, I think, is self. So I've always had this thought of, is there an opportunity to create something that is either spiritually elevated life foundation, so self, or is it a strategically elevated leadership foundation? So, the personal side and then the leadership side, I would love to find a way to get people together around this kind of work, either on the business or the personal lens, and go to retreats, do some summits, go to the mountains, go off-site, do something that is similar to what I've seen in some of these yoga or mindfulness retreats and have it be more of a architecture for life kind of opportunity. So I wrote a book. It was a very short, quick, easy book. It was more of healing for me through some relationship and marriage issues and just a very tough upbringing in childhood, and kind of used that as my way to kind of get it all out. That book was called Fix the Root and Get the Fruit. And it was really about, if you can fix the core and understand your purpose, your journey, then you can get the fruit, but you've got to put in the work. And I'm still doing this work personally. That book wasn't successful. I didn't care if it was successful. It was more of I just need to do it. It came to me in a dream. I took a trip to Colorado in the mountains, wrote down the framework behind it and kind of put it out there with a self-awareness assessment and some of those things. So it's nowhere near the level of just greatness that I've understood from the Center for Conscious Ascension and this assessment, and literally laminated it, right? And then my wife did it as well, laminated it. I mean, it's one of these things that I want to keep right front and center. So as I'm trying to figure out what the next step is or the next move, I've got a clear link back to, does this match what my soul destiny is and how does it fit? Because I'm going to cut out everything that is not in essence of doing this. But the trouble is, we've got a lifestyle to maintain, and I need to clear that block and allow that flow of energy, because this, I believe, is the business that's always existed, and all the other businesses and opportunities and career has been preparing me for it. Now I just need to tune in and listen to how do you move past this step to take it to where you think it could go.
Got it. Okay. You got all that, Katie? All right. So thank you, Josh. Do you want to give a summary when you finish writing the notes, Katie? Just to mirror back to Josh. I want you to close your eyes, Josh. And I want you to just share. You have to unmute, Katie. And just share what you heard. And I want you to absorb this, Josh, because this is a mirroring back of your own brilliance. Okay. And be open to whatever comes. Okay.
You're fundamentally that if you're passionate about bringing out the best in people, individually, but also in regards to their vocation. You have lots of different types of experience, whether or not it's with larger groups and like leaders and or individuals, that it brings you great joy in helping others grow. It's deeply meaningful for you. Your foundation from doing your soul contract is that your soul destiny is to duplicate and share Christ consciousness and that energy. And you deeply want to reach more people. And this is, again, it came up many times in your discussion about this is a very meaningful personal interest, that this is a felt sense that this is where you need to go. Currently, you're feeling a little bit drained where you're at and looking for more balance and fulfillment between the things within life that, those necessities like having to pay the bills and such, but also following that destiny. You're focusing, you have some ideas around focusing on products and services to scale the business. You want to scale it, you know where you want to go. There's some questions around how to get there. You're open to different ideas. You want to be in a supportive role of some kind with a focus on growing the business, promoting it to a larger audience, reaching more people. And the sort of overall goal is to, and your sense of your gift is to be able to support people in finding that balance, similar to what you want to create in your business, actually, is for them to help find their spiritual combined with their strategic business. And so finding this sort of mesh between the two so they find that fulfillment. And it's actually, now that I say that out loud, that's similar to what you're doing. You're saying you're in this position of wanting to do that for yourself as well. you're open, it sounds like you're outdoorsy and that you connect with nature in some capacity, and you hope that nature is going to facilitate that process for you. You conceptualize it as an architecture of life that sounds more holistic to me. It's not just about business or just about personal life. It's about how do we combine these things to get fulfillment in all areas. You're an author, and that your belief is around that in order to reach these goals that I was just sort of outlining that you said you want to reach, at least as far as I understand it, is to go to the past and clear out any of that stuff, that the core stuff that keeps us stuck, and that will help us get a deeper understanding of ourselves, which we then can move forward. Nature is inspiring for you. I heard that again. You love to teach and help with personal self-exploration for others. And this again links back to your soul contract and your destiny. You're committed to this process, and you're here to remove any blocks to that process. That's what I heard.
How's that mirroring, Josh? How did it feel to hear someone else express your gift of service?
It felt great. I think you nailed what I was trying to get across, and glad I kind of spit it out, even though it was a little jumbled, maybe not well thought out. The way you read it back and summarized it, spot on. And I didn't talk about nature enough, but that is the core of everything, and how, if you listen to it, it can tell you quite a lot of things about life and how we're connected to it. And there's a link there somewhere that I'm also here to find out. But to answer your question, Nicolas, it felt good to hear it. Thank you, Katie.
All right. Katie, how was that to be able to witness Josh and his dreams, what his soul really wants to do?
Yeah, it was, I was trying to sort of listen both from my heart and also from my analytical mind, so I could make sure. I wanted to really kind of get the essence of what he was saying underneath it, rather than just write down verbatim what he was saying. But, in reflection, when I was reading it out to you, I realized, I don't know if you noticed this or if it's meaningful in any way, but what you say you want to do for others, it's sort of where you're at right now, yourself personally. So I wonder how that's sort of like wanting to find that path towards spiritual and also business development, combining them. That's also your passion for where you're at and where you want to help others go.
Right. I find that I bounce between both. And the personal development and that balance comes out in my work with people in their business, weirdly enough. So it's a niche, it's focused on customer experience, employee experience, culture or technology or ways of working with companies. But I find that most of my clients love the advice from a human perspective or a personal perspective. And that's what's keeping the business continuing and rolling in. So if there's a way to shift that completely out of the business side and just move right into the personal, yeah, that's I think where I want to be. And I appreciate you saying that.
Very good, guys. All right. So, okay, your turn, Katie. I want you to share with Judy. Okay. Your gift of service, as much as it's formulated. This Judy, you need to take notes on the key points and mirror it back to you. You've seen it modeled. But then Katie can have an objective viewpoint coming, because that enables you to clarify, well, where are you going to go? Because we have all these ideas, or we're trying to coalesce down to the essence of it with us. Okay, Katie.
And if you could just take breaths in between each thought.
So as I said, I'm a psychologist. I specialize in complex trauma. So again, what Josh had said around the core, what I found in working with people is that our histories have a profound impact on how we experience our present. And so, it's in my growth as a therapist, I discovered that we need to do some of that deeper work in order to deeply heal. And I found my way to a model. It's called internal family systems, which I mentioned in my intro. And this is really relevant because of it sort of led me to spirituality, sort of. And in order to be an internal family systems therapist, or at least one that has, how do I say this, can work more effectively, you need to practice the modality yourself, because in order to support others in accessing what's called self, and very similar, self is a quality that we can all access that is, it has some divine qualities to it. It's a capacity to find deep compassion and calmness, inner peace and harmony, so that we can show up for the parts of ourselves that are in pain or suffering. And in order to teach that, you need to experience it yourself. So I started on my own healing journey and support my clients in going through this as well. And on that path, I found my way to these parallels between this model that I practice and spirituality. It's a lot of what the spiritual teachers are speaking about in terms of deeper consciousness and such. And so, as I began to continue to do my personal work and also my own personal spiritual work, on that way, and I as I tried to continue to develop my own spirituality, I started to explore, like, at a deeper level. Like, I actually came to it for a bit of a different reason, which was another personal reason. But through that journey of exploring that, I found that my purpose was, and this very much aligns with my soul contract reading, and my soul destiny is to share Christ consciousness energies, to teach and expand, into opening a center to affect more people, more numbers of people. And this aligns with almost all of all the elements of my soul contract. It's just repeated over and over and over again. And actually, during my meditation work, I had that insight. When I was trying to focus on manifesting something else personally, I kept being brought back to, you need to focus here, and that everything else will fall into place when you focus here. And so it was a bit of a surrendering process for me. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen. I'm going to trust, and I'm going to take my focus off what brought me here in the first place, personal stuff, to focus on helping and healing others. And it felt like a deep calling, a deep pull towards that. And then doing this soul contract work just confirmed that this is my purpose, this is my mission, is to help more people that are suffering deeply and deeply wounded from their past find hope, that they can learn to love themselves, that they can compassionately show up for their suffering and find a sense of inner harmony and peace. And this model so beautifully aligns with everything that I'm exploring in the spiritual teachings. It's like, blows my mind, and I feel so privileged to have found my way to it, like deeply so. I'm a little bit in awe of the fact that this model that's more scientific actually has such a spiritual bent to it. The two combined, it just is like, I'm so excited about it. And so that's sort of where I'm at. And the reason, so I started manifesting this business, originally my business model was to just open it up and offer different kinds of therapy. But I've decided through this process that I am going to focus on offering an internal family systems center in Calgary, Alberta, where I live, but sort of like depending on brand requirements and stuff. But I want to bring like-minded practitioners together so we can reach more people. We can grow this model in this community where I live to also not only reach more people, but also reach a like almost create a family within this, within my place of business. So not only do the clients feel supported, but so too do the staff and the team. And so it's just a place of healing and a place of safety for everyone and security. So that's sort of my passion. What also came out in my soul contract, and it's bang on again, though, my barriers to this, and sort of part of the reason why I'm here, is my physical karma and what came out my spiritual karma as well, is that sometimes it's hard for me to take a overwhelming structure and try to organize it in a way that's going to be really effective and reach and to function really well. It can feel a little overwhelming. I can feel a little bit lost with how to organize the structure. It also said that sometimes I have a lack of resiliency to absorb failure. So being able to support myself along that process as there's dips in it. Yeah, so, and then it also talks a little bit about the need to reach out for help for others. So those areas where I struggle in my physical karma or spiritual karma, and I need to work through, but being able to ask for and seek out support from others. And so that's sort of why I'm here ultimately, is to connect with people that can maybe support that. So that's sort of in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you. Gee, did you get all that? Do you want to feed that back to Katie? Summary, just so she can see it from 40,000 feet, what her soul's bringing through her with her gift of service.
See, I have an issue, and that is that when I write fast, I can't read what I write. So that's why I said if you could take a breath, just so I just wrote down like keywords, and so if you could just give me some patience, because I really want to do a wonderful job for you. Your specialty is helping people with complex trauma. I can't read what I wrote. And also, well, I'll just tell you what I wrote. So, and that you're now doing deeper work so that you could deeply heal. And what I heard you say was that all of this has led you to your spirituality and to another model, instead of just the business model, also to the spiritual part of you. I heard you say that, which I think is so honorable, that in order to help other people even more deeply, that it's very important to practice the modality yourself, to practice the model yourself, and to go deep within it. And in doing so, you can really open up and understand others even more so, which is such a service to them. Because to teach, you need to experience and to support others. And it's very important for you. And you said this many times in different ways, even, that it's very important for you to support your clients and for them to feel that. And this is part of your path of getting to deeper consciousness. Yeah, I can't read that. Okay, so
you're doing great. You're capturing the essence really nicely, G. So.
Okay. So so you explained that your purpose is to share to teach, and to expand yourself, which aligns with all of the elements of your soul contract. That has brought you back to focusing on these parts of yourself, so that you can help and heal others. That one of your deepest desires is to help people that are suffering and that are deeply wounded. And in manifesting your business to focus more on the internal family system to reach more people. And that it's very important that not only do you make money in doing this and have your business, but you really want to create a place where people feel safe. And I mean, that is such a beautiful thing, that you want a business that not only supports families, but supports the team, so that everybody is included in this safety and security, and that everyone's needs get met. And you have such a beautiful way of doing that. And I love that you even brought up the parts of where you need, or that you're willing to look and do the work of your physical karma, about taking a hard situation and organizing it, something that may feel overwhelming, and that you have the lack of ability to accept failure. I was wondering if you were a Taurus, because that's such a Taurus thing, or if that is in the Taurus thing, because Tauruses don't quit. But you are willing to seek out support. You are willing to seek out help from others, which is such an incredible quality. So it really, even when you were saying that, I was getting this feeling from you about that you really are mastering the balance of the divine masculine and feminine, personally and through your work. And I just find you to be very inspiring and just an incredible being. And thank you. I hope that was good.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Judy. How's that feeling, Katie, to hear that?
It felt nice. It felt like she captured the essence under it well. I heard a lot of words like warmth and caring and safety and kindness and stuff like that. That in essence, that is, I think, that is my nature for sure. So being able to bring that with a model, I think it does create such a sense of safety and promote that healing for people. So I really appreciate that. And I didn't really realize when you said the masculine feminine piece, masculine feminine energy, I didn't really think about that, but I suppose that's true. At least, yeah. So thank you for that little tidbit. I never thought about that.
Yeah, very good. All right, your turn, Judy. Okay, spill the beans. Let's share with Josh your gift of service as far as it's got. Okay, it is perfect exactly where it is. Okay. And the idea of this process is to get clearer, to go a little bit deeper in what it is when he mirrors it back to you. Okay, so don't feel like you have to have it all there. You just give us what you got so far.
Okay, it's funny. I was writing something down last night for a class that I'm in. So I'm going to refer to that a little bit. But so in my soul contract reading, and I just took that course just recently, last week. I mean, and it was amazing. That creativity is huge for me. It's in so many places in my chart. That teaching is another huge thing, and I've been a teacher for most of my adult life in different things like teaching my children religion class, teaching painting. And I really love that. I love that, like when I learn something and I'm very passionate about it, I want other people to know how to do it too. And that's what I found in healing. I learned EFT first. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really want to help people with this. And that's where I started. So what I really love most is, I really love helping healers and energy workers. Probably more so. I don't know why either, but who have suffered with trauma, and seeing where they're blocked and stuck through symptoms like weight gain, hiding, needing to protect themselves, how conflicts come up with relationships and with their abundance, their deservingness. I really like doing detective work and like investigating. All right, so where did that come from? And kind of what both of you said, going into the root, the cause, and the core. I really do actually enjoy that. Like, let's see now. And so I took divine healing in the beginning of October, and that is just like, it was just so up my alley, because it's like going to all these places where these issues reside, and then unraveling them and bringing light to them, and understanding. I really love when people can understand why they're in a pattern, so they don't blame themselves or feel like, what's the matter with me? And I equally enjoy that for me, because I would do that many times in my life. I had a very, very rough childhood, and marriage, and so many times I would just feel like it was all my fault, or why couldn't I get out of that, and I devalued myself a lot. So I guess what I see in other people is also, they're a mirror for what I've gone through, and I'm still working out with me. One of my really big things lately is about my voice and helping other people express whatever they need to. And I've been setting boundaries for a while now, and I'm actually quite comfortable, more comfortable than I've ever been. And that's like another thing that's been coming up with the clients that I am attracting, is helping them to be able to know that they're valuable enough and deserving enough to express exactly what it is that they need. And also, I've got this thing with beauty, inner, outer, our own, and beauty outside of us, to know beauty, to embody beauty. And I'm not talking about like a pretty face and lipstick and all of that. I'm talking about that spiritual nature of beauty, that we are expressions of God, and that we all do have the right to live the life that we want, and desire. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. It was very heartfelt. Josh, do you want to mirror to Judy, what she says. So close your eyes, Judy. I want you just to absorb this. Feel
Yes.
it. What? Go for it, Josh.
So, Judy Hoyt, your gift of service is to create, to teach, to learn, and share what you've learned to help others. You love helping healers and energy workers who've suffered with trauma, really to find where their blocks exist based on systems, like a practitioner or a detective of stuck energy, if you will, and finding ways to provide a prescription or an understanding of why they're in the pattern or path that they're on, helping other souls gain clarity that it's not their fault and they are in that place for a reason. You've worked through these practices that have helped you, and by understanding it yourself, you get passionate about being able to share what will work to get them unstuck. So the right people are finding you, and you are helping the ideal clients, your dream client in the future, know that they are expressions of God and that they and we deserve to live life to the fullest in God's greatest beauty. And that's really your calling.
Okay, how was that, Judy?
I loved that, Josh. That was incredible. I really love how you just, put that all in. And I need to tell you that I was just telling my kids, I have a 29 and 30-year-old, that I said, I think I want part of my business to make prescriptions for people. So when you said that, I was like, I can't believe that you said that. That was amazing. Thank you. That felt really great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, all of you. All right, so that was very special. How did you guys find that? Have someone else to get out of your head and someone else mirror back to you what they heard to show you. There's a third party now. It's your gift of service. It's sitting out there. What was that like to go from the internal soul vision to actually beginning to manifest it? There's vibration out there. How did you find the process overall for doing that?
It's one thing to think it or to read it, and a whole other thing to hear somebody else verbalize it. So it's kind of that missing piece to manifesting, possibly, of just hearing somebody else read back to you the thoughts that either are on paper or have been in your mind, but to hear verbally overall.
I agree. There was this more of a concrete possibility, probability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the beginning of manifesting it, because someone else now has heard and understood and articulated your gift of service. So the vibration is starting to go out into the world. Okay, this is how you start this. You start off with one small seed. Everything starts off with a thought. Okay, and that grows. Okay, Eddie, how did you find that?
I found it, what I thought Judy did was capture the essence, which I thought, I kind of have a conceptualization of, I've been manifesting what exactly my business is going to look like. So I actually have a lot of the concrete pieces down. So, but hers was actually different in the sense that she gave me more essence. What is the reason, and what sort of gifts can I personally bring to that business to ensure that it aligns with my spiritual journey and my deeper meaning and deeper goals. So I thought that was just what I needed, because I actually have a pretty good structure already created around what it's going to look like. But that was nice to create more of a grounding in the reasons why.
Yeah, because you should be able to describe your business in about 30 seconds. And if you can't, 30-second elevator speech. If you can't, you're still not clear what it is. So it's about connecting with the feeling of the essence of it. And the rest is detail of actually how to do it. So we're trying to get to the essence of the gift of service. Yeah. You guys did really good. Really good. Okay. Let's keep going. Let me get the screen share now. All right. So, okay. So you've said what you want to deliver. Who is going to be your audience? Okay. Is there anybody out there interested in what you guys are talking about? Okay. So it's a big question. And it can be a bit strange. It can seem a bit strange. It can feel like, ooh, I had this passion for something. But is there anyone out there who actually is interested and do they actually want to buy this off me? Do you want to engage with me? So you have to start to get a bit clearer on who is the audience who's going to receive that gift. And you've all just launched your gift a bit more out in the world now because someone else just articulated it for you, which means they got what your gift was. So what we just did now. So, well, what gender are they? What age range? What sort of income level? Because obviously they've got to pay for this, exchange for it energetically. What level of consciousness are they at? This is on the David Hawkins scale. Is everyone familiar with David Hawkins? I think you are by the sounds of it. Power versus force, logarithmic scale. Because they have to be conscious enough to be able to receive that gift, depending on where you're coming from and your level of consciousness. How committed are they to their spiritual path to want to engage with you with this gift? Okay. How spiritually evolved are they? Okay. All right. And most importantly, where do they hang out? Where are you going to find these people who want to engage with your gift? These are all important questions. Okay. So we're going to do another exercise in pairs here. Or we'll do the same thing again. To get clear on who your true audience is. Okay, you're going to help each other get clear on who that audience is. And we'll do a little more feedback, okay? So, does anyone need a quick bio break? Just thinking about that. Is everyone okay? Otherwise, we can have a couple of minutes. You're okay. All right. So, Josh, you can talk to Judy this time. We'll go the other way. Just give us the best shot from what you know now, what you're perceiving or thinking, who that audience is based on those criteria. Because we're going to put it out in the world and just see, and you're going to test this to see, well, is that actually viable for what I have to offer? But the main thing is we just keep doing iterations of this till we narrow down to who that actually is. This is the beginning of that process, or continuation probably in your case.
Sure. So yeah, I guess gender-wise, male or female would be target audience. As far as age range, I would say anybody from 25 to 105. I'm not going to put limits on any of it. Overall, just kind of who are they? What do they do? I feel like it is leaders or entrepreneurs. Those that basically are, I think you said it well, Judy, kind of stuck somewhere on that consciousness scale, and they're trying to figure out, how do I continue to move forward? How do I grow? How do I evolve? How do I let my gifts get out into the world or have a more fulfilling life, do what I'm here to do? So people looking for purpose, basically, whether it's personal or through their work, and then getting to that perfect place where they align and they meet in the middle. I would like to help people discover that. As far as their consciousness level, I think you've got to be pretty evolved. I think it gives me energy to work with those that have done some level of self-awareness, leadership development, personal development. It's probably like your Hay House audience or the Gaia audience, those that have that spiritual knowing, but aren't necessarily confirmed to a particular religion. So they're open enough, or their business is open enough to allow some spiritual work to move in without the guise of it needs to be one of the 4,200 religions that exist today. That they're open-minded enough to move into that conversation or do the work. So I guess bliss or joy is the highest level of consciousness. I'm trying to get there, right? I'm trying to get more love, and then, get to the place where I can eventually, by the time I pass, get there myself. And I've had to understand Christ consciousness quite a bit before even getting my results. And now I'm trying to figure out how do I get there personally, but could we find out where other people are at on their personal journey and allow them to kind of see their level and move it along, almost like emotional intelligence for Katie and the psychology piece. And you can get a score of that almost to figure out what are the areas that I need to improve my emotional intelligence. That's always been something that's interested me, and I love talking about it, and almost like you said, prescribing things to help them, either that I've done myself or that I know work, just through kind of being a practitioner of this as well. So I think I answered all the questions overall.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So who is Josh's ideal client avatar? Who did he describe then, Judy?
So Josh is willing to work with men or women. Josh has a very broad age group, anywhere from 25 to 105. Who he wants to work with? He wants to work with leaders. He wants to work with entrepreneurs, the ones that could be stuck. And he wants to help them to evolve and to find fulfillment, and to find their purpose, and to discover more parts of themselves. He wants to work with a higher evolved level of consciousness people, with people who are presently working on personal development, especially open-minded people who are not stuck in one religion or one modality, one model. Someone who has open-mindedness to do some real deep inner work, and maybe look at different areas to broaden parts of them. He wants to work with people, and out of his own wanting to find this personally, people who are geared towards bliss, joy, and love. And because he's very much into improving himself and improving the areas of emotional intelligence. He really wants to find like-minded people.
How was that, Josh?
Well summarized. Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, so Judy, your turn to share with Katie, who best you can, who your client avatar is. Who's this audience that you're going to share these gifts with?
For right now, I would like to work with women. What I do find is that when I work with women, they will ask if I could work on their children, and I'm good with that. And then sometimes I'll ask if I could work with their husbands, and I'm good with that. But they're usually just temporary things, and I always go back to the women. I would like to work, well, I have a very broad range, anywhere from, I would say, high school age to elderly. Let's see. The level of consciousness, I really would like to work with people who I don't have to explain what a chakra is, who I don't have to talk about, DNA. Well, if I say, okay, we're going to do a DNA activation, really, what's that? So I would like somebody who's been around the block, spiritually, maybe has taken some classes, maybe who's taken webinars, who are very interested in growth, self-improvement, growth, and healing. I'm very interested in working with people who take responsibility for their healing. I really don't. I don't want people who think I'm doing all the work. So I want it to be like a 50-50. I really want somebody who is committed to knowing that this isn't going to be a one-time thing. It's not going to be a one session. It may not be 3 sessions. It could be a dozen sessions, and that they know that, or at least they're open to it. And I really would like to work with people who are spiritually evolved, who they may not get Christ consciousness right away. That could be like a new thing, but that they don't even know that they're already tapped into that.
Okay, thanks, Judy.
Thank you.
All right, close your eyes, and Katie's going to mirror back to you who this ideal client avatar is and who's gradually evolving here.
So I'm hearing from you that your passion is working with women. However, you're open to the idea of supporting children and men occasionally in their healing and growth, if that feels like a fit for you or the situation at hand. But your passion, again, is with women. Again, a broad range of who, the age group, and like there's no like specific around that. Again, there's that sense of openness in terms of the who. But one of the key things for you that I heard is that underneath that, there has to be some sense of spiritual awareness, some basic knowledge of spirituality, perhaps some education. But ultimately, they have to have a sense of, I own this, and I'm motivated towards self-development, growth, healing. And they're not coming to you with an attitude of, I'm here, now fix me. Do it for me. I just want to passively sit back and allow this to happen to me. You want someone who can be in a partnership with you toward their healing, and you'll guide that process. And understanding also that it's a journey. It's not 3 sessions, then you're going to wave your wand and fix them, but rather it's a process and a journey that you'll take together.
How's that, Judy?
That felt great. I mean, I actually felt empowered. Like I felt my sense of power in that like boundaries, you know? So that felt really great. Thank you. And I think you did a great job, Katie.
Yeah. So your audience has come alive, Judy. It's actually an energy out there. It becomes an attractor field, is what we call it.
Yeah.
So because you've coalesced it and you've focused it, okay, it starts to turn up. The usual instinct, if you're not trained in this sort of work, is to think, I need to market to everybody to get somebody. Mm-hmm. But it's the opposite. We need to market to a very focused niche. Then they will come because they have a resonance with you. Right. This is why we do this process. It's because this is the beginning of focusing, laser focusing on who is it. And you're only going to find out by doing these sort of processes and going and testing it in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Okay. Test a lot sooner than you think, because you can spend ages in your mind thinking about this. But then you get in the marketplace to discover, actually, it's over there. It's not here at all. Mm-hmm. Okay. So don't get too attached to what comes out initially, but think of it as a waypoint. Start with that, test it, see how the market responds. That's the true test of your vision, of grounding your vision. Does it actually work? Okay. It comes also with your gift or service as well. Test it. see how a particular niche of people respond, and adjust. And by the time you finish, it may evolve in a different way. What your offer is and who you deliver it to. That'll be a way that works. Okay, so we have to go out there and ground both sides, audience and gift of service, and eventually this is dance. Eventually it coalesces into a place of you deliver what they love, and they love buying it off you and engaging with you. That's where we're sort of headed with this process. Okay.
Right.
If it's not in here, it's out in the world. You find that out. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So don't get too attached to the initial vision. You got to start somewhere, but see where the universe takes you. Okay, Katie, your turn.
So I'm really curious about this exercise because I actually am struggling a little bit with this. So I'm really curious what comes out of it.
Well, so struggle is good because that means you're on your edge. And when you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you're always on the edge because that's how you grow. That's how you grow your business. If you're not on the edge, that means you're wanting to just be comfortable, and you're not going to grow, and your business is not going to grow if you're not comfortable. Growth comes from being right on the knife edge. So we've got your attention. This has got your attention now. Like, what am I going to say? See, this is the right moment. Okay, this is the void. Something good's going to come out of this. Watch. Okay, so if you just tell Josh, give it your best shot of where it is now, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. So my observations are that women and men who have that higher level of consciousness around spirituality, openness of mind to this particular approach to therapy tend to respond better to it. So there's a part of me that really knows the value of niching or niching your business and is sort of inclining toward that. But there's another part of me, and this is the dilemma, that I want it to be open to everyone. Those people that are highly analytical in their mind, that really like things very linear, organized, structured, short term, fix me now kind of, I find they don't respond as well to this type of therapy. And yet I also understand at a deeper level that the reason that is because from this model's perspective, they have parts that are blocking that access to their subconscious, they're deeper. And so there's a part of me that wants to reach those two and not exclude that group of people from having the opportunity toward healing. So it feels that's the dilemma. And I also know that the more advanced I become in this as a practitioner, the more I'll be able to work with that a little more complex presentation of in person. So this is sort of, however, my instinct on this is telling me that the people that respond better are the ones tend to be from the female gender, but also I know of many men also that are, again, more conscious and more spiritually inclined or more open to emotional expression, more access to their compassionate feminine side. They tend to do beautifully in this therapy too. So this is where I'm struggling a little bit. Again, similar to both of you, age range. I don't work with adolescents at this time, so it's around 25, right up to whatever age anyone would like to access counseling. Income level, I'd run a private practice, so I'd like at least 80% of my population to be able to afford. But I am also willing to do sliding scale because I do believe that this should be accessible to all people. And so offering a certain portion of the services at a lower cost for people that can't afford but are highly motivated and are fit for the model. Again, back to that sort of level of consciousness. I don't think it has to be spiritual consciousness because, again, this model isn't designed as a spiritual model. It can reach people, but I know that in essence, what it is very much in line with a spiritual practice. That people can make it whatever they want though, because spirituality is such an individual thing, but ultimately having that deeper sense of access to their emotionality and their feminine energy a little bit, if that makes sense. More compassion, more open-mindedness, more confidence, creativity that's present. They tend to just respond better to this model. Again, similar to Judy, degree of spiritual commitment. This is a journey and it's a lifestyle, similar to mindfulness practice. It's not like I just meditate. It's a lifestyle shift. And it's a paradigm shift in terms of how we think about ourselves and our inner world and how we relate to ourselves. And it's a practice that you teach that people would then apply to become their own therapist over time. So they don't need to come to counseling forever. And so it's not something that you learn. A paradigm shift is not something you learn in 12 sessions like a cognitive behavioral model that's more short term. This is something that people would have to understand, that to learn this lifestyle, it takes a little bit longer, and they become their own healers and they heal themselves. And I just sort of facilitate that process. That in order to get there, there is a bit of an evolution toward more consciousness, more access to spirituality. I think that's it. It's a bit of a dilemma.
Okay, Josh, what's the essence? Who's this avatar?
So this avatar is people that need your gifts, that could be women, could be men, with a clear delineation of certain men possibly who understand consciousness, that are open more to that type of therapy, and that goes for women as well, but also being able to make it available to those that really need it. So love to find folks that have a balance already of the masculine and the feminine, but can express their feelings. Those are the types in the 80-20 model that you'd like to have 80% of, but you know that the 20% you'd love to open this up to others that need your gifts as well. But really, this is a target audience that's willing and able to go on the journey with you over the long course and make a lifestyle change, so that they can in turn heal themselves over time and then carry it forward to possibly even heal others. And to me, I would ask a question to the question of, could you start with those that are in your sweet spot and get some great client testimonials and beyond, and maybe keep out those that aren't a fit. But then as you get deeper into the practice and the group and the different families you're working with, you'll need a challenge. And once that time comes, you'll want to work with those that maybe aren't the complete right fit, that will give you a new persona to kind of figure out how to get them where you want to get them. So could you start with that sweet spot, and you know who is going to be open to it, and build your confidence in your practice there, and then eventually evolve into, through storytelling and the radical shifts that people have made, getting others who are kind of in that stuck place with the trauma on the path as well, which would take it full circle.
Thanks, Josh. How was that, Katie, to see your avatar come to life in front of you?
Yeah, it was great. What stood out to me was what you started with in particular, was that it really doesn't have, it's not just women. It's just people with the capacity to go on the journey, as you worded it. And that journey does require some introspection, and that it's more people that are like, I want to be up in my analytical mind all of the time, that tend to have a little more difficulty with this model. But I hear you when you ask the question, these people can still receive support with this model. And the more advanced I come in as a practitioner, I think the more confidence I'll have to be able to support them as well, and getting beyond their analytical mind and into that deeper sense of self. But for now, just sort of focusing and niching into that group that is really motivated toward that, already have a bit of an inclination toward that. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So how did you find that overall, guys, to have your avatars start to come to life and see the bits which are all clear, the sweet spots, and bits which are all a bit fuzzy around the edges? Always a couple of different things we could do here, maybe a lot of different things. and to be okay with that uncertainty, not knowing exactly. The mind always wants certainty, but when you're starting a new business, everything's uncertain. Any comments on the process?
I think there was learning in the wobble, right? So kind of like being a beginner on a bike, whether you've got other businesses or not, just starting to think about what this is like and say it out loud. I think there's learning in the, am I validated? Is that really what I want to do?
Yeah, well, you think about it, yeah, because someone else just reflected it back to you. Oh, is that how it sounds? Not so sure about that. Oh, yeah, that's great. That is it. That's it. I know now. See, so that's what we're doing here. Any other?
Yes, I love what you just said. Like when it was mirrored back, like, ooh, I don't know. That sounds a little like I'm putting myself in a bit of a box, and I could expand more. Or oh, I like that, and I really want to keep that, and because that feels good and that feels true to me. So it was really great to hear it back.
Yeah. Katie, how was that? Hear your avatar come alive.
It's good. And again, it broadened my mind a little bit. I struggle a little bit with, like, I want everyone to feel included.
Yeah.
Don't want to say, oh, well, this person with complex trauma won't fit, right? Like, and so, but I think conceptualizing it slightly differently, that, maybe it's just maybe someone else would be a better fit, right? And that's okay, right? Until, at least for now, and just focusing on those people that really feel in their heart that this is the right approach for them. Because I've seen those people, and it's profound, the beauty that comes out of the work. So yeah, it was good because it just helped me think about it just a little different.
Yeah, it shows you all the uncertainty, uncertain fuzzy bits, which are normal, because this is coalescing. The audience, the ideal avatar, and your gift are doing this dance. And we're trying to get them to one place eventually, to one place, the sweet spot. And there are alternative archetypes of inclusion, but sometimes that can get to the point of actually, okay, I want to include everybody, but actually I'm not focusing enough on the somebody who does want to come. See?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You see? Because trying to be too wide, so I said before, trying to be too wide focused means that it doesn't reach the message doesn't reach anybody. Okay, so you want to narrow the focus to the sweet spot first. That was a good point that you said, Josh. Just pick the sweet spot first, then see if that works. Go and test it. Then you probably find, I've got a different gift. It's not quite what I perceived. It's this. And then you grow little bits off it organically. Let's try this group, and you build it out gradually. You've got to get to the sweet spot first. Okay? Because then you're actually delivering the gift, which is the most important thing. It's no longer just an idea. Okay? And it grows and expands. So, okay, well done, people. So we now have a better idea of what your gifts are, because they're out there in the world. It's in someone else's head. Since 5 people's heads here, basically. It's going to be in a lot more people's heads in a little while once the video goes out tomorrow. And we've got an idea of the audience. See? So this is your dance as a spiritual entrepreneur, to work out what is the gift, what is the audience, how does the gift and the audience come together? How do we communicate the gift and the audience? How do we co-create together so everyone gets what they need? Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks for that, giving you everything today. So let's move on. I'm nearly finished. Okay, so that was just the beginning of what we do on the training on marketing and manifesting your business. Okay, so to bring the gift and the audience together requires quite a few steps. So the next step is dissolving your ego. We talk about that. Dissolving the illusion of who we think we are. To allow spirit to come through. We talk a lot about that. How your home energy is equally important to your soul contract in terms of how you manifest your personal and your professional life. Getting much clearer on the audience. And how do we connect with them to tell them about our gift? Okay, because you can have a gift, but if you don't tell them about it, or don't tell the right people about it, no one's going to come. And business success for a spiritual business is an inside job, an emotional inside job. Because you can only go as far as you've evolved emotionally on the inside. And how do we reconcile the masculine and feminine within you to deliver your gift of service? This is going back to what I said at the beginning. If we have a feminine gift here, we've already been talking about that, very passionate about it. How do you wrap enough of a masculine structure, business structure, marketing structure, to take it out to the world to meet your audience? The audience here, okay? That's required. And if you're stuck in the corporate matrix, which you guys aren't, some people are, how do you get out of that to get to this place to deliver a gift? And what is the most effective form of marketing so that your gift meets the audience? And why business names are so important, the frequency of names, so that the name of your gift attracts your audience, the right audience, actually. Now, once you're clearer on what the audience and the gift is, how do you roll your services out to them? What sort of channels to market are you going to use? These are communication channels. I talk about how sales funnel webinars, these webinars I'm doing now, how we do that, which is what grew this business. Okay, to become a global business. When we talk about your spiritual business plan, not the 3 inches of documents I mentioned at the beginning, how do you access that spiritual business plan? We also have guest speakers on the training at the end, because in the 2 days that I run it, what I aim to do is to give you an idea of what is the spiritual landscape of things you need to cover, which is what we've just done here. What do you need to be aware of? What are parameters do you need to be aware of to become that spiritual entrepreneur, to deliver your gift of service? Because you can sort all those out, there's a very good chance this will work. Okay, so it's just a taster of all the key things, because it takes between 18 to 24 months, depending on how much time you've got, to shift the mindset from a 3D mindset to a 5D mindset, to do everything we're talking about here, to actually deliver that gift. And I've got my team here, they can take you through that process for 18 to 24 months. So actually, that gift becomes a reality delivered to the world. But it requires dedication and time and energy to do this. But it can be done, because these guys really know what they're doing. Okay, so this is just the intro. Here's the landscape, and these guys will help you navigate that landscape so that you can look back and say, actually, I'm delivering my gift to my ideal client avatar. My life is completely different now. My business is different. That's what the guest speakers will talk about, the process of that. Okay, because it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time, dedication. Okay. So we go beyond the spiritual conceptual ideas and the distillation of 30 years of experience into practical steps. Here are the different parts, things you need to do to actually make it happen. Okay. So, any questions, guys, based on what I just said? I just sort of give you a good taste of what we do. We do this for 2 days. We cover a lot of areas, so it brings it into focus what's really important, what actually works. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of people making the jump from normal work to a 5D business go off and try and reinvent the wheel. But they're doing it from a filter of a 3D business, which doesn't work a lot of the time. It just doesn't work. Okay, because they're their parameters are, they've been brainwashed with the parameters of, for example, maximize return on investment, make as much money as you can, which we don't do in spiritual business. We maximize return on consciousness and service, and then money comes anyway, which is a complete anathema to the corporate beast. Okay, that has a massive impact on your audience. If you come at them for maximizing return on investment, they won't come. If you focus on service and love, they will come. And it's almost like a religion, the way corporate mindset has infected us. We have to extract the thing out and replace it with a service-based, consciousness-based mindset. So we talk all about that sort of stuff. So any questions based on what I just said?
Group training, or is it individualized, or what's the format look like?
It'll be a group training on Zoom like this, and there'll be these practice sessions. You just did the first hour of the training, first 2 hours of training. Okay, but we go into all the different areas, all the things you need to be aware of. Some you may be aware of, other bits you may have, other bits may be completely new to you. But the whole landscape of what you need to manage and navigate to actually turn the gift into actually a viable business. So it's a top-down view of all the key things. Then my team can take you through the practical steps of turning it into a business. Okay, that's what they're skilled at. So you don't reinvent the wheel. You just get the experience of a lot of experts who've done it, can show you the most optimal path. So you're putting 80% of your effort into 20% of the things that actually matter. Okay, and so you're not reinventing wheels. You're picking up brand new structures which have been tried and tested that actually work. Okay, this is the reason that 90% of small businesses fail, is because they don't have a structure for actually how to do this properly. It's not from lack of effort, it's from lack of proper structure and process. Okay, and those people just go back and get another job a couple of years later. But we want you to be part of the 10% who go off and make a success, because you'll know what you're doing and you'll be confident this is the right way. Okay, because Lightworkers have a default program. I'll do it all by myself. I don't need anyone else. We say that doesn't work. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of pathways have been cut already. So you just benefit from that knowledge, and then you'll get there a lot quicker. Doesn't mean you don't have to do the work, but you'll be doing the work that matters. And you'll have the confidence to know, I know I'm doing the right thing, just going to take a bit of time. Okay. Not, I think I should do this, but you just go back 3 months later, that's not working at all. Okay. So yeah, it's a group process, a lot of discussion. It's very vibrant, like this was, and you'll learn an awful lot, because so different people will come from different backgrounds, and you'll get lots of other ideas from that as well. All talked out. No more questions. So, Katie, you must have a question. You always have a question.
I do tend to have a lot of questions. The only question I can think of at this time really is, you said focus more on service and love, not on ROI, return on investment.
Yeah.
And that struck me because I actually have a marketing team right now that's all about ROI. And like the whole website is designed for ROI. And then it just struck me and so now I'm like trying to think, how do I integrate that?
I don't think you've got the right marketing team, Katie, for what you want to do. In fact, I guarantee you have the wrong marketing team.
Well, I guess I'll have to take a closer
look. Take another look at that. They've done. There are studies out there where they've shown that companies that focus on maximum return on service make a lot more money than companies that focus on the bottom line. It's a known fact out there. It's because the frequency, service is love, 540 plus on David Hoggins' scale. Okay, return on investment is sub 200. It's greed and avarice. So what do you think people are going to get attracted to? It's very obvious. Okay.
Yeah. I think because I have the capacity to adjust the messages in my website and the content, I think I'll focus my mind on that, what you're saying, this focus on service, focus on love, and communicating that in the content.
Yes.
So right.
Yes.
So
That'll adjust the focus. Okay. If you're going to have a return on investment, say return on consciousness, increasing consciousness, which is why we're all here. Okay. The money is important. Okay. We have to pay the bills, feed kids, or whatever. Okay. So, but it has to be a few percent behind focusing on service, not the other way around. See, what most businesses do is say we have to get a maximum return on investment, therefore we better have good service to do that. We're saying better have good service first so they come in the first place. Then they won't even think about the money. They'll just pay you anyway because they can feel the integrity of what you're doing rather than the greed of focusing on return on investment.
right.
Okay, it's very important because the sort of people you're addressing are hypersensitive empaths, empathic people, and they can smell if you're just there for the money and they won't come.
And I'm not. Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
not. It doesn't align.
Yeah, so you don't get polluted by ROI-based marketing. Okay, so that's why we talk about this. We talk about all that sort of stuff. Okay.
Thank you. That's something to think about.
Money is a poison that was introduced on us to control us and separate us. We're saying love is what is going to unify us. That's what we're doing with these sort of businesses.
Yes,
okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Any other questions or realizations?
Best place to find some literature on the advanced training, or maybe even the 18 to 24 month.
I will show you. So, this is more info on the training here, marketing, manifesting the business there, and you'll see testimonials and stuff on that. And we're running the next one. Run it about twice a year. It's 3rd and 4th of February. Okay. It's important to get the core baseline structure, Josh, first. Okay. So you know what the landscape is, because if you don't know what the landscape is, then you're not going to be able to navigate it. Which is this is the purpose of marketing, manifesting your business. Here's the new world you're entering into. Okay. So now you know, okay, I have all my new parameters and I have a different mindset I have to move into. And now I've got a basic idea what it is. Then you do the more long-term stuff. But you need this baseline foundation first to actually get a grasp of what you're entering into. That's the point of it. Okay. So the exchange is about $378 US dollars in total. And you can secure your place with a £97 or $124 approximately deposit. I think it'll get you real clear. You'll get a lot of clarity if that's for you or not. And what people tend to get is a lot of confidence and structure for moving forward, because people know they have to instinctively know, I've got to move out of the old mindset. I don't know what the new one is. So we're saying, here's the new mindset. Here's the approach. So you have a new structure to walk into, to embrace. And then people are much more confident. The guys who do this tend to be much more confident and just get on with it. They know what's going on, you see. So not having to reinvent and discover the structure by trial and error. It's basically showing them something that actually works. We show you how it really works, and you can take it and adapt it to what you need. So you'll be much further ahead than you would have been if you were trying to work it out yourself. Okay. Does that help?
It does. Thank you. Of course, more questions on just if there's a cap and the time commitment on those days. I'll go to the website, assuming it's kind of got a curriculum of kind of the blueprint that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll give you an outline just there. What time zone are you in Iowa? Is it
Central? Central. Yep.
Okay, so time. We start at 12:30 UK time, which will be 6:30 AM your time, and we'll go for 8 hours. there'll be 3 1.5-hour slots, okay, over 2 days. And that is just enough time for me to cover all the key points. And we do it because you guys don't get a lot of holidays. So I had to squeeze as much as I can into a weekend. My team said that's enough, because beyond that, once you've got the core baseline of what it is, then a follow-on coaching program requires you to work on it weekly as much as you can. Then go off and try it in your business. Get mentored, try things, get answers, keep developing it. That's what the next stage is. So this is the intro to the rest of your business life, 5D business life. That's what we do here.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, anybody?
Not a question, but just I really loved that there were 3 people here, because when I was sitting back watching Josh and Katie work, and it was very helpful to me to hear 2 other viewpoints of all the questions. So I really appreciated the way this all worked out.
Yeah, it's interesting the way it happens. So
yeah,
because observing is just as powerful as giving or receiving this.
exactly.
Because it gets you thinking about, oh, where am I in this? Oh, I never thought about that. It's a whole bunch of new, a whole bunch of new things. You see. Okay. All right. So thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging in there, Raven.
Thank you so much. It's
We'll
really
get the video
helpful.
out in the next day or 2. Okay.
And so nice to meet you, Katie and Josh.
Yeah. Okay. See you later. Bye.